Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be talking about HelloFresh, and I'm sure you know who they are, but just in case you don't, they're a very heavily sponsored company here on YouTube, and so you hear about them all the time in ad reads in videos. This is not sponsored by them, they don't know who I am. I'm just making this video because I want to try it out, and I think it may be useful as a part of my streamlining my life attempt. So over the last couple of months, I've been looking for ways to make my life easier, to streamline it, to make it more disability friendly, and getting a meal kit seems like a really useful thing. You choose the meals you want for the week and they send you the ingredients. Why it appeals to me is that you choose the meal, but you don't have to work out all the things that go into it, and I find that quite stressful. You get the right amount, so you don't have extra stuff going off in the fridge, and I am always incredibly stressed by things going off, things going moldy. It makes me incredibly anxious. I feel very bad when I waste things, so I keep them for too long, and it's something that I struggle with. I find the kitchen quite stressful, and I do struggle with dinner, with meal times, the preparation, the decision making, all of those kind of things. I do find it quite difficult. So I think I might be the perfect person to try a meal kit company because I do find this aspect of life quite difficult. I know not everyone does, and I definitely have heard people say, you know, what's the point? And absolutely, if it's not a struggle for you, it's extra money for no reason. But it is a struggle for me, so I'm kind of hoping this will help. I don't know. Obviously, the cost of food at the moment is really high, and this bumps it up even more. So in order for me to justify the price, I am going to have to really like it. It's going to have to be significantly better than the regular method, and it's going to have to make my life easier noticeably for me to bother doing it. If it isn't as easy as the adverts make it seem, it's not going to be a goer. If it doesn't really change the difficulty of my life very much, it's going to be a no. I thought I would try it out with you so you can see how it is for a disabled person, someone with limited energy and with issues with anxiety and depression, and maybe that will help you make an informed decision or think of new ways that you can simplify your life. So I've already had to think about this, and the minimum amount of people you can have on your plan for HelloFresh is 2. And then you can have 3 recipes per week as the minimum amount for 2 people. I'm just one person, so 3 meals a week for 2 people is obviously 6 meals for 1, with each meal being eaten twice. That doesn't bother me because I already buy food in that method. Very few things come in portion sizes for 1 meal, so I quite often will have the same meal twice a week. So that doesn't bother me at all. And because this is my first box, it is significantly discounted, but the real price for if I was going to do this every week is £35. And for a week which doesn't include breakfasts or lunches or snacks, that's a lot. And also that only leaves 1 meal a week that doesn't get used up by the HelloFresh box. So I've already thought this through. I've already decided that if in the future I decide to do this, I would get a HelloFresh box every other week, which means that 6 out of 14 meals would be provided by the HelloFresh box instead of 6 out of 7, just because that seems a bit excessive, especially for only just starting out. But for the first time, for the first week, I'm just going to go for the 6 meals in 1 week and see how it goes for the sake of the video. So I'm going to select the 2 people 3 recipes a week box. The first box is £12, which is a good saving, it seems like. I don't know. I don't know whether they artificially inflate their prices so that they can do the reduction or what, but £12 for 6 meals seems okay. Seems good. So I'm going to have to put in my email. Okay, so I have to pay before I select meals, which, I don't know, seems annoying, but it's fine because I've already decided I'm doing this, and you can look at the meals separately. Well, I've paid, so I've committed now. Okay, so it pre-selects things. So things it's pre-selected for me are apple and sage glazed chicken, sticky honey beef rice bowl, and cheesy chorizo penne gratin. Browse more. So a problem with this, obviously, is that you still have to make decisions. If you struggle with decision making, if you feel very overwhelmed by decisions, you still have to do decisions. I guess technically you don't, because they just put some stuff in your basket and then you can change it if you want. So I could just not do any decisions and eat what they give me, but I don't want to. So I'm going to take out the apple and sage glazed chicken, and I need to select another meal. I don't like decision making and I feel very overwhelmed with having to decide this. So it looks like you need your own butter and you need water. Obviously you've got water, but I need to make sure I've got butter. I do have butter currently. Okay, I have till this evening. I have time to think about it. Just do it. Just do it. Just do it. Confirm order. It's okay. New things scare me, but it's okay. Done it. Good job, me. This one says 3 on it. I don't know what that means. So I've worked out what the numbers are. The numbers on the bags correspond to the recipe numbers, but the fridge stuff is all packed in together. Now here's a question. What do I do with this massive like insulaty plastic and foam bag filled with more plastic bags, water? It also says don't recycle on it, which is great. I will see you at dinner when we try and cook something and hope it's easy and nice. Easy, edible, tastes good. If it isn't, I'll just have to order pizza. So it's okay. No panicking. Okay, so I am doing the sticky honey beef rice bowl. Supposedly it only takes 20 minutes. The honey beef is really good. It's like actual food. It's really good, though I do need to remember to pay attention to the rice. I think I'm just going to mix it together because the rice is a little bit bland and soggy. So if I mix it together, then I probably won't notice. And attempt one of meal 1, pretty good. I am tired now. There was I couldn't just sit and stir for a while. It was like whilst something is cooking, cut something else, saw something else. So that wasn't like rest time. Surprisingly good though. So it should be day 2 today, but my heart is pounding and my body feels like it's on fire. So I think this is what we call an anxiety response, and usually I have both slightly harder and very, very easy meals, like something you can just put in the oven or something you could just microwave and then just eat. So I have choice and option, and I'm feeling quite tired today, and then the thought of having to do what I did yesterday, the full cooking or even more, and do something new and film it just feels wildly overwhelming, and I feel like I can't do it. it's very common for me. I struggle with cooking and, preparing dinner, and this is part of the reason why I wanted to try HelloFresh, but I think I've made an error because I haven't got any alternatives in, which means that I can't not do it, which is filling me with dread, and I can't do it, and I'm gonna have to order something. My mum is coming tomorrow, so we can go to the supermarket and buy some backup foods, which will hopefully take the pressure off and mean that I can both have choice and feel less trapped in the corner of you have to cook the HelloFresh stuff. So this panic should only be a today thing, hopefully, or if it's not, it will be easily solved by easy meals that I have. But right now I just feel electrified and my whole body is like so I'm gonna order something. Not the best result for day 2 of a HelloFresh experiment, but this is the type of person I am. I struggle a lot with anxiety, and food and preparation and cooking is one of my strong anxiety areas. So I'm not putting too much pressure on myself, I'm not overthinking it, and I'm really trying not to have a moral connection between ordering takeaway and, being a good person. And I don't know why, but those things are so linked in my head. And it really feels wrong to order food, and it really feels wrong, and it feels bad to get takeaway, but it's a good solution to this kind of horrible anxiety, because I know from experience, if I go and try and cook now, when I feel like this, I will not get through the cooking. I will cry in the kitchen. I will probably lie down on the floor and curl up in a little ball. I won't eat. Quite honestly, that's what happens when I don't give myself the grace to order food or, take an easier option. It's not like if you push through it, it'll all be fine. It usually isn't. So it's okay. There's no value judgment. It's okay to not do the HelloFresh even though you said you would. It's okay to not cook even though you thought you were going to. It's okay to order something. That's why these things exist, is because people like them and find them helpful. It's okay. Hello. So we are going to do recipe 2 today. Cheesy chorizo penne gratin food. 30 to 40 minutes. So far I've taken longer than what they've predicted, but I am cautious, let's say, so not necessarily their fault. But you know what isn't my fault, or at least I could have avoided it, but the system is set up for you to fail. It's now Tuesday, and I was supposed to either skip or choose my meal yesterday. I didn't realise that, and I was having a little bit of an anxious day, well, quite an anxious day, so I put it off. Go to my email this morning, turns out I've missed the cut-off line, so now I have to have a HelloFresh order this week, and I don't get to choose what it is. They're just going to send me stuff. This is the classic subscription trap, right? It's opt-out, not opt-in, and if it was opt-in and I just missed it, I'd be like, oh well, I'll just go to the supermarket for this week and then I'll opt in next time, or whenever I next want to. But because it's opt-out, I have to give them money. I have to take what they are offering. Because it's assumed you're in unless you say you're not, I have to pay them, and I have to take the food that they are now giving to me. There's no option, and I think that is unfair. I don't like that, because I have anxiety, I have brain fog, I have, depression, which means sometimes jobs I don't get around to them, and they automatically are taking money from me now because I didn't get around to the job. And luckily the foods that they have assigned me sound nice, but I don't think this should be the system, and I think you should be aware that this is their system and they will keep billing you every week unless you say no. I don't love that. So the first meal I've had 2 lots of it now. It was really yummy, really nice, really enjoyed it. And that would be a so far positive review, except that they've taken my money for next week because I wasn't paying attention. And you know what? If I'd done enough research, I probably would have known that that was their system. But I think that they rely on people not knowing that. I think they rely on people not knowing it or forgetting it or whatever so that they can take more money. Because the first week was just heavily discounted. I bet you anything the second week isn't. And I wasn't asked before I paid for it. So I'm a bit irritated. I'm a bit grumpy. If you can tell, I feel unhappy with the system. But anyway, we're doing cheesy chorizo penny gratin. And hopefully it will be really nice, as the last food was. But we will see. Cook the pasta, job number 1. Hopefully it's nice. Okay, it's really good. It's really good. Okay, I forgive it for taking a million years. This is really good. I don't really know what food vloggers say. It's food, it's nice. Good news, I'm less grumpy than I was 2 minutes ago. So, funny story, last week I got a notification from the bank saying there was suspicious activity on my card and they thought someone else was using it. So I got on the app and someone's attempted to make a purchase in Massachusetts, which is nowhere near where I am. I'm in England. So obviously I knew that wasn't me. So I told the bank that it wasn't me and they cancelled my card. This happened just before HelloFresh was going to take the money out of my account. So it kind of all worked out perfectly. Because HelloFresh was unable to take the money out of my account for the next week's order, they cancelled it instead. So the order that I didn't want has now been cancelled because my card was cancelled. So it's actually worked out pretty well for me. So I'm not getting one next week. The whole situation's kind of like soured me on the idea of it, just because it would be so easy to forget to do it or not know what day of the week it is or whatever, and end up either spending money you didn't want to spend or ordering food you don't like. And then there's nothing you can do about it. Once you've passed that deadline, they won't let you change it.
So I just want to clarify this complaint. I suggested that taking the money and making the order automatically is a bit predatory, and I really don't think it's as bad as I did in the moment. What I didn't realize is you can cancel and plan multiple weeks in advance, meaning that it's way easier than I thought to be on top of, and it doesn't rely on you remembering to do it at the exact time every single week. You can plan out things literally like a month in advance, and for me that reduces a lot of the anxiety, as you're way less likely to be forced to order something you don't want. So that really changes my perception of the system and how accessible and realistic it is for me. So with that in mind, I have a much more positive view of the service than I did before I realized this.
I didn't think it'd be perfect, but I think it's less good than I thought it would be. The meals were actually really yummy, but they took longer to cook than I expected. They were more complicated than I thought they would be. I like the fact that they've given variety, which I struggle to get in my everyday cooking because I'm a creature of habit and new things. Going out of my comfort zone is quite scary for me. It's not as easy and seamless and streamlined as I was hoping it would be. I was hoping it would reduce my shopping trips, which it has, and it would reduce my thinking about meals, which it definitely has, but also it's added a new layer. Instead of thinking about the meals, you have to think about HelloFresh, the service, and unlike meals, there's a deadline. Worst case scenario, if I'm too slow at working out my meals, I get a takeaway, or I pop to the shop and just buy something easy and then think about it tomorrow. For HelloFresh, if you miss the deadline, you are going to receive a box of stuff that maybe you don't like, and that feels really quite stressful, and the point is to de-stress my life. I'm looking for ways to make my life easier and less stressful, and it's not as good as I was hoping it to be. I was hoping it would be easier. I think the price of the first box is really good price, but I think the regular weekly cost I think is higher than what I'm willing to pay for something that isn't solving as many problems as I was hoping. I personally need simpler meals. I can't stand and cook for half an hour. It hurts, and in the footage you'll see me trying to sit down, and I keep trying to sit down, but then I need to do something else. I'm trying to cook, so I have to stand back up, and that level of cooking isn't sustainable for me. And I thought that HelloFresh's process would simplify it so it would be easier, and it doesn't simplify it enough. There's still a lot of process, and that is something I really struggle with. I'm disappointed that I don't think that this is the solution for me, and I think I'm going to cancel my subscription because the couple of meals I made I really enjoyed, but it's not a perfect solution. I like the idea of it, but in practicality, I have very limited energy and I don't like cooking. So I don't really want to allocate nearly that much of my energy and time to cooking. So I think maybe I need to look into more of a meal delivery service rather than like an ingredients or a recipe delivery service, you know, something that's pre-cooked or more pre-cooked, like even if just like the sauces were all done. I don't know. I think maybe I need to look into things that reduce the things you have to do, because cooking is still a sticking point, is a difficulty area of my life. I still want to look into more ways to simplify and streamline, but I don't think this is the solution. It's just not easy enough. Thank you so much for watching this video. I will see you next time. Bye!